Hello, Standard 2 boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Nolberta Leslie. I am your Standard 2 teacher. We haven't met yet, but through this video, you'll be able to see who I am, and hopefully soon I will get to meet you. Today I'm going to be teaching you about the base 10 blocks. And if you notice on the worksheet you got for week 2, that's for Tuesday. So I'm going to be teaching you a little about that so that you can do it easier and you'll be able to have a better understanding of it. When we talk about the basic 10 blocks, we're talking about manipulatives or objects. We use the base 10 blocks for counting, for place value. If you notice, I have a place value chart here. We use it also for adding, subtracting. It's going to help you to be able to do those things. And what exactly is the base 10 blocks? The base 10 blocks is made up of different parts. For example, the first part that we want to look at is a unit block. What is a unit block? It means ones. Okay? So the first part that comes under the base 10 block is the unit block. And that means ones. When you hear ones, what do you think about? You think about the number 1 as it has here. So here, this is what it represents. Ones, only one block. The second part is what we call a rod. Okay, this is it, a rod. And what do we mean by a rod? We mean the number tens. Okay, so what does rod mean? Tens. And so we have tens. What does that mean? It means one of these. This is a rod. Why do you think it's called a rod? If you look at it here, it has how many parts? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is made up of 10 of these little parts. What do we call these little parts? A unit block. So a rod is made up of 10 unit blocks. So here we have a rod. So remember, the first one is a unit block. How much does that represent? 1. Then we have a rod. A rod represents how many parts? 10 unit blocks. So we call that tens. Then we have the last part. The last part is what we call a flat. What is it called? A flat. So we put the flat here, and what does the flat represent? It represents hundreds. So this is the hundreds. So we look at this now, and we want to, how many parts is this going to include? It's going to include this. Why do you think it's called hundreds? Because if you notice, there are how many pieces here? 100 pieces. Okay? And if you put this here, you would also be able to break it into 10 pieces. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So how many rods do we have in this flat, in this hundreds? 10. Okay? So this is 100 pieces. We have 100 unit blocks here, or we have 10 rods. Alright? So that is what makes up the base 10 block. And we say that those are called blocks or manipulatives, right? And it is used, as you said, for counting, help us to add and to subtract. Now, if you notice, on my left, I have a place value chart. This is very important because, as I said, the base 10 blocks help us to learn place value. For example, if I have the number here 51, okay, this is my first number, 51. I'm just going to put it on the side here, 51. And I want to put this under the place value chart. I want to put 51. How many ones? We have the number 1. How many tens? 5. So we get the number 51. Now, if you can recall, what does ones mean? It means 1 unit block. So how many unit blocks will I put here? I will only need 1. So I'm going to put this here, and that is representing 1 unit block. Now for the tens, remember, if you can recall, how many unit block make up a rod? How many is here? 10, right? So how many will I need here for this under the tens? I will need 5 of them, 5 rods, right? So I'm going to just put that there. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So the number 51, how many ones? 1. So I represent that with a base 10 block as 1 unit block. I look at the tens value. The number is 5. So how many rods am I going to be needing here? We said 5. 5 groups of 10. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice for this one we don't have any in the place value of hundreds. Let's look at another number. Let's look at 100 and 25. Now, how much is this? How do we read this number? 125. How many ones do I have? 5. How many tens? 2. How many hundreds? 1. Now, here I only have 1 unit block. How much more unit blocks will I need? 4 more, right? So we have 1 is there already. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have 5 unit blocks. That shows you, that represents the 5 under the ones place. Then I have 2 tens. Will I be needing all of these 5 rods? No, right? So how many I'm going to take out? I'm going to take out 3. And I'm going to be left with only 2 rods. Remember, 2 tens. 2 groups of tens. Then now, do I have something under my hundreds place? Yes, I have the number 1. So how many flats will I be needing? I will only be needing 1, right? 1, because it's only 100. So here I have 1 flat representing 100, 2 rods representing 2 tens, and 5 unit blocks representing 5 ones. And this is how we're able to use the base 10 block to help us for place value. So on your paper, you're going to be creating, as it says, you're going to be creating 1 of 100. So you need to make one of these. You're going to be, you can color it one color. Maybe you can color it blue. You're also going to be making 9 rods. 9 of these. 9 of them, right? And you're going to be coloring it this another color, maybe red. And then you're going to be making 10 small blocks, which you can also color yellow or a different color. And each of them you will be able to use them. You can use them to read different numbers. Maybe you can create your own cards and make numbers like these on your place value chart, and you can represent them underneath your place value chart for the number that you come up with. So how many did we say unit block make up a rod? 10. And so I'm just going to show you here that you have 10 unit blocks in one rod, right? So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 10 unit blocks are in this one rod. 10 pieces, right? That's just showing you how many is here. And in this flat, it says 100, meaning there are 10 rods or 100 unit blocks. So again, 10 rods are here. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally 10. We can also count by tens, right? Because remember, the rod has 10 little pieces. So if you count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So you would know that there are 10 rods in this flat or 100 unit blocks. So boys and girls, that brings us to the end of our base 10 block lesson. I hope that you understood what the base 10 block is and how you can use it. And you can print your squares that were provided here and color them, or you can always get a typing sheet like this and you can cut them out and make them yourself. But so that you don't lose them, you can also cover them with tape, okay? So I hope that you learned a lot today, and there's a video link on the lesson for Tuesday. You can follow that, where you can learn more, little bit more about the base 10 blocks, right? Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.